Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadaşiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryandam Vande Guru-Paramparam. Om Sakana Bhavatu Sakana Punattu Sakaviryam Karavavakai Tejasvinavadidamastuma Vidvijavakai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsad. Om Sargasthiti Pralayaketum Achinta Shaktim Vishveshwaram Vidida Vishwam Anandamurtim Nirmukta Bandhanam Avarasuga Amburashim Sri Vallabham Vimalabodhakam Namami Yasya Prasadat Ahameva Vishnuhu Mayyeva Sarvam Parikalpidam Cha Ittam Vijanami Satatma Rupam Tasyanti Tattvam Pranatosmi Nityam. Good morning. So we are in the Vaakya Vritti. We are learning how to understand Mahavakya tatvamasi. Mahavakya that came from Chandogya Upanishad. And the learned has given us a method of interpreting these words. That is Tvam and Asi. Bhashyakara Shankara has given the text Vaakya Vritti to analyze these three words. We finish analyzing the Tvam Padartham. Tvam Padartham is Jiva Padartham, that is, who am I? And we understand in this process, there is a Lakshyartam, which is the word meaning. And the word meaning is not giving us a good understanding, realization of the import. We go to the Lakshyartam. The Lakshyartam is the intended meaning, which the Gurus explain to us. And by understanding Lakshyartam, intellectually you absorb that. And there is a Tattvartham that gives the Anubhuti. The Tattvartham is the realization of, internalization of Lakshyartam. To give us the truth. So in the Tvam Padartham, Tvam means who am I? We derive the Lakshyartam that I am the Sat, I am the Chit, and I am the Anandam, bliss. This we cannot forget. So if we are contemplating this all the time, in every action, you are a spiritual person. A spiritual person is one who started looking at one's own self. God comes later. Just blindly going after a God which we do not know, with some dogmas, is faith and religion. Religion uses that opportunity to instill you towards the spirituality. Therefore, all the religious teaching is packages inside the religious practices, essence of spirituality. Why they package it? Why can't they explicit? Because if it's explicit, if you understand, you would have gone straight there. Because the very reason we could not go, that means we need to be digesting it slowly. Therefore, it gives you the rituals, slogas, parayanas, yajnas, dana dharmas, upasanas. And then you will ask the question, why am I doing all this? Who am I? Then you come to spirituality. Then you understand who you are. Then your question is, all along my life, I've been asked to look for the God, worship God. But Vedanta is putting that aside and teaching me who I am. What's the point of that? point is tatvamasi, because if you understand tvam, that who you are, then you will understand that who the God is, who the truth is, who the bliss is, who the freedom is. Magically, you see, they are one and the same. So the whole exercise of understanding who you really are is puts you in the right path to get freedom. So I keep repeating it because you understand the context of our pursuit. The context is gone, the pursuit becomes intellectual vanity based on our time. Okay. So in having understood who I am, underline the word understood, because you're not that, because you're not realizing it yet. I can realize it, I exist. Okay, I am a Sat, I exist. After death, will I exist? Today, I think I will exist. Because Sat, I have no problem. Chit mean awareness, you say? Yes. Yes, I am aware of myself. The awareness is not knowledge. Awareness is what knows the knowledge. Yes, I understand. Therefore, are you a Chit? Yes, I am. So we should be confident to assert that I am Sat, I am Chit, and I am reasonable, not going by the faith, because I reason out, as I said just now. Anandam, I have difficulty, because my mind is often putting me in the grief. Even though I know I'm not the mind, I am influenced by the mind. Mind has got an ishatvam, it rules me. Therefore, I am a slave of mind. I am miserable. Okay. So that is a pursuit we need to go and resolve that. So we are in the Lakshyartam of Tvampatam, we are confident. Okay. Then Tatpadam. So we saw in the 28th and 29th, Tvamartam Yavam Nischaya, Tadaptam Chintayat Punaga, having understood the Tvamartam, go to the Tatpadam. Other Vyavritti Rupena, Sakshat Vidimukena. We saw in the 28th mantra. I'm going to teach you, the Guru says, the Lakshyartam of Tatpadam by two means. One, by the negation. What is negation means? Negation means seeing false as false. That's it. It is a method of learning. Like, when you want to see the root of a tree, what do? You dig. Dig the earth, right? What are you doing? You are doing negation. What negation am I doing? You are digging it in search of the root, but what you get is a stone and the pit and the clay and the weeds. You throw it away. Not this, not this, not this, not this. So negation is not a negative in a sense. It is a very positive science, because sometimes negative approach is what is needed to understand the positive results. So, neti, not this, not this. That's a method. But when I say not this, I must have some identity, what I'm looking for. Therefore, there is a sakshat vidimukena. I'm also telling you what it is and what it is not. Use these two methods to understand Tvampatam. Then it went to 29th mantra, Nirasta Sesha Samsara Dosho Astula Vilakshana Adrsistwadi Gunaka Prakrutamo Malan. It gives a meaning of it is not, it is astulam, it has no body, no mind, no samsaram and all that, and no impurity. It is nirakaram, everything inside. Then we end with the 30th mantra in the last class. Just a quick recap and then go forward. Nirasta Adishaya Ananda Satya Pragnana Vigraha Satasva Lakshana Purna Paramatmedi Giyate. This is giving you the Lakshyartama Tatpatam. What is that? Nirastha Adishaya Ananda Satya Pragnana Vigraha. Nirastha means void of. It cannot be. It is not. What it is not? Adishaya Ananda. It is Ananda. Parananda. It is not Adishaya Ananda. Remember, when I say Adishayam here, I say the Sanskrit Adishayam, not the Tamil Adishayam. In Tamil, Adishayam means Ascharya, wonder. In Sanskritam, Adishayam means it can be still improved. It can be still added. Adishayam. So if you say, how is the payasam? Yeah, Adishayam sugar means you can put a little bit more sugar. It is not paripurnatvam. So this is nirastya adishaya ananda. So in this tatpatam is not at all having any requirements to add some more blissful nature, because it is infallible, it is absolute bliss, it is the bliss most. Okay. How does it look? It looks as prajnana vigraha. Prajnana means consciousness, vigraha means form. It is in the consciousness form. What kind of consciousness? Satya prajnana vigraha. It is an eternal consciousness. It is not the vritti, it's not a thought. In the deep sleep, don't say you are not conscious, you are self-conscious. Your worldly consciousness, the thoughts have gone, but you are conscious about your deep sleep. But you are not able to bring it to memory or to thought, so the mind instrument is locked. Like a switch is off. Electricity is still running all the wires. The light is not glowing because the switch is off. The mind is the switch. It puts off. So my senses, my talking, my hearing, all the power of expression, the light, the luminance in me is on. But I am not currentless, not powerless. Yeah? So that is the form of that. Purnam Paramatma eti. Now, in the Tvam what we said, he reasoned out, reason it out, experiment. And then we are able to compare and contrast. Yeah, it sounds sensible. It sounds right. Yes, I am not the body. I am not the mind. So we are able to somehow deduce in reasonable state, because it is about my own experience and knowledge. I can do prayatana. But that padam, right now I'm thinking that is the God who is different from me. So when you have a lakshyartam for the tat padam, I can't cognize that because I don't associate myself with the tat yet. So where is the proof that you say that is nirastadisaya anandam satya pragyana rupam? Where is the proof, Guru? He says, giyate. Giyate means, gi means songs. Songs are saying that there is Vedas are there, gi. So Gitam is Vedam. All Gitams are Vedam. So Vedas are telling you this. Therefore, that's what you should take. Why you may come to this juncture and say, right? So therefore you are disowning it. You're saying, yeah, I'm saying it because Veda says it. Why should I trust Vedas? This is a reasonable question. Let's see the next verse, and then we come back to this question. In the next verse, because the third previous verse, he said, Gitas are saying it, Vedas are saying it. Now he reinforces that. Sarvajñatvam pareshatvam tata sampurna shaktida vedai samatyate yasya tad brahmed avataraya. Sarvajñatvam pareshatvam tata sampurna shaktida vedai samatyate yasya tat brahmed avatarya. Brahmamiti avatarya. The usual assertion. Say it as a Brahman. Which one? That which I am going to say as Vedai Samartyate. What the Vedas are, Samartyate means asserts, proves, deliberates, declares. That the Vedas declares. Yeah, you told me in the last mantra. Yes, I'm repeating it to tell you exactly what the Vedas say. They say, Sarvajñatvam. Sarvajñatvam means that Ishvara, that Brahman is omniscient, knowing all. So he is now giving you Lakshyarta. You are digging the root, and the gardener telling you, dig the earth, throw the clay, throw the stone, throw the pebbles, and you will see a mango-like pulp inside. That's the root. So what do? You dig to look for that, right? What do you look for here? Sarvajñatvam, all-knowing. Pareshatvam. Ishatvam means the ikaram is the attraction, ichcha shakti. Isham means the supremacy, all my power, control. Ishatva means attracting and controlling. Ishvara, Isha. The Bijaksham is Ambal, Shaya Shivam, Shakti Isha. So here, Pareshatva. There is nothing beyond that rules you. I may have a boss, my boss may have a chairman of the board, he may be the shareholders champion, whatever. But there is a gradation of power, hierarchy. Here, there's no. He is the supreme. So omniscient, omnipotent. Tata, therefore, Sampurna Shaktida, Lakshida. He is got a Sampurna, complete fulfillment power he's got. He's got everything. There's nothing beyond that. So this is what the Vedas say. Let's think about it a little bit. Now, Vedas say, and if you look at all the Rishi mantras, all this Upanishad explanation, commentaries of Bhashyas of Bhagavan Shankara, he will argue with all these religions, all the naysayers, with the wonderful, reasonable arguments, yukti pramanam. But then finally he will say, because Vedas say so. Because Vedas say so. So if you say, therefore, I don't believe Vedas as Nastikas, so don't put the Vedas say so, like the Buddhist followers of Buddha did that. Nastikavada, Charvakas do that. Then, of course, Bhagavan argument, I use the word very carefully, defeats the argument, conquers them. Pareshatvam is there by just pure logic, reasoning. Very fine reasoning. That's why for Vedas also, to help us in reasoning out, there is a Nyaya Pramana called Brahmasutta. Veda in its pristine form, followed by Brahmasutram. Brahmasutram is a logical supplement to understand Veda Pramana. Of course, the Brahmasutram itself is understood differently by different people, and there are arguments there, and so this is a different discussion. So this is said, this is taken as, see, even when you do a PhD, what you do, when you want to prove something, you have an hypothesis. This is a hypothesis. Hypothesis is an untested standing by you, a proposition by you, and you are going to do some research to either counter it or prove it. And when you prove it, hypothesis becomes a synthesis. It still may not be true for everybody. Then it has to be applied in real life, and it has to have some relevance to the reality. Then it becomes a truth. So you have to have, in any reasonable quest of knowledge, a stated position towards which you are going. That's, we call it an objective. So science itself, therefore, is an objective faculty of knowledge. And what is the objective? The phenomenon has also turned into an object. Objective is a phrase to say it is the aim of it. Object is the physical or phenomenal matter which you are trying to prove, which is always external to you. Therefore, science goes with the objective focus, with the hypothesis about that object, and therefore you do experiments and research where your subjective bias is not coming into this. I found this because I feel this way. I liked it. I don't like it. All that becomes subjective. Therefore, if somebody likes it or don't like it like you do, they will not see the same thing. Therefore, the science fails. Therefore, you don't have a subjective influence in anything you do in science. All fair enough. You should not do a subjective. But what you have to understand, science is right in what it is doing. It is hypothesis-based. Hypothesis is expected to be proven or yet to be disproven, and it is trying to prove it through an external object. Therefore, my orientation is object. Therefore, I do my approach as object-oriented approach. Subjectiveness is not. It looks very promising. Therefore, it looks fair, and we give them the high value. Vedanta, the essence of Vedas, we immediately say it is subjective. No. Vedanta is also not subjective. When you mean subjective means it is the influence of your mind, your intellect, and your bias, your emotions, coloring that. No. When a Rishi says something, he is not bringing because his mind is saying so. When it becomes subjective, the subjective writing becomes a part of the, maybe some part of Smritis or Puranas, and they give you an aid, but it is not the eternal truth. When it is given without any subjective influence on it. So it is not subjective. It is also objective. But it is not towards an object-oriented, but it is subject-oriented. Vedanta is an objective science, not subjective biases, but it is not object-oriented, but it is subject-oriented. Object-oriented means all your theories, proving should be towards an object. I want to prove the solar eclipse causes this effect on the lives of the people. That's a hypothesis. Therefore, my focus will be solar eclipse and its thing. I will not talk about anything else. I orient my vision towards that. It's the right thing to do. But in Vedanta, what you are looking is not outside you. It is looking at you, the looker, the seer, the subject. Therefore, the Vedanta science is subject-oriented, internalizing it, not subjective. So I was looking at all this puja. I see a light going through my mind. The light is me. I do the same thing. Light doesn't go through my mind. So what is true? Both are wrong. Because why does the mind comes into this? The mind comes in, it becomes subjective. The bias of mind comes in. The mind has no bias. When can mind has no bias? We saw in a couple of mantras back, mind sees the world. The capacity of the mind to see the world is because mind got illumined by the subject, the awareness. The mind becomes powerful, can illuminate others, it illumines the world's picture comes to the mind. Behind this mind is this Sakshi Chaitanyam, looking at the mind. Therefore, there is an awareness, there is something in front of you. If it is not looking at it, mind cannot see. So mind is seeing what the Sakshi is saying what the mind is saying. Therefore, mind is object-oriented. So you are aware of the objects. You do whatever you want to do with the object. Scientifically live happily. But I know to express my awareness, I need the mind. Mind is an instrument. So it does not mean when you do Vedanta, mind is gone. Mind is gone, how can somebody express anything? So mind is needed, but not as an instrument to see the object, but an instrument to see myself. That means I turn the mind towards. Now, look at this conundrum now. Sakshi is looking at the mind. Mind was looking at the world. So therefore, Sakshi is aware of the world. You should be very clear about this, what I'm saying. If you don't understand, you will get confused. Sakshi looks at the mind looks at the world. Mind looks at the world comes into the mind. Therefore, Sakshi can see the mind. You are aware of the world. This is happening now. You see me hearing, because your mind seeing me hearing. The mind is able to see me hearing because your Atma is giving the mind the power, and the Atma is looking at the mind. Atma is aware, you are listening to us. This is the Vyavakarika. And if you are able to turn the mind towards the Atma, and Atma is looking at the mind is looking at the Atma, what can be the mind filled with? Correct? The Atma, yourself. What is the Atma looking at you? Yourself. Hey, if I can look something, is object, isn't it? So therefore, if Atma is looking at itself in the mind, so is the Atma becomes an object? No. That's the purest form of darshana. You got Atma darshana. But darshana is happening on the mirror of the mind. You see a pratibhimbam, pratipasikam, you see. but you at least that gives you a realization that this is the Ishvara looking in the Shakti, his face. Aham Padartham, Idam Padartham is now trivial about the Advaita Anubhuti. My pure mind is the Shakti, my Chaitanyam is the Shivam, and the Shiva Shakti Aikyam is there. Nothing to say. Now, this is very esoteric understanding. But the rational understanding, therefore, the awareness requires the supreme truth to be revealed to the mind. It has to come through the mind. Now, what can come through the mind without going through mind's bias? I have given the answer to it. I want to extract something from the mind. The mind should not have any bias when it expresses what is in the mind. What could be the condition for that to happen? Condition could be only that when the mind is totally focused in the Atma Chaitanya, because it gets the power of expression, because it gets illumined, but what it expresses is nothing but the Paripurnatvam. It is not looking at the world, the Nama Rupa Guna Visesha. It is not putting it his own world, good person, bad person. Nothing is there. No bias is there. The mind I need for expression. Mind is my Shakti. But Shakti is now Vimarsha Rupini. She is now explaining to the world Atma Bodha. That's why the words of Vedas or the words of the rishis who express them when they are in a position of great anubhuti of Sakshi Chaitanya. That's why it's called Apurushetvam. Purushetvam means man-made. Apurushetvam. It is not man-made. See, I want to labor this point because I want you to get Shraddha in this, because Bhagavan Shankara says, oh, it's in the Vedas. Then why it is? Why should I trust Vedas? Now, if you followed me so far, for us to follow anything, any expression in the word, it has to come from somebody's mouth. If it comes from somebody's mouth, how can it not be Apurusheya? Vachyartam tells me it does not come from the man-made words. But it says, Yajnavalya Uvacha, Kashyapa Uvacha. When the rishis are saying it, or the rishis are not beings, yes. So we must understand, Apurusheya means is not Vedas are falling books from the sky. We start with this. We think it's a very rational question. This loonies are calling Vedas are Apurusheya. How can it be? Any word is said by somebody. How can it be? So we will briefly look at it. Why that is not the right context of it. See, Vedas are giving the eternal words. What do you mean eternal words? Words, I say a word comes out of it. So it's momentary. Every time a word is pronounced, it has got a birth, sound, it decays. Momentary. How can it be eternal? What word can be eternal? See, all these questions are, look, for us, very beautiful question, rebellious question. All this question have been asked, answered in our Mimamsa. Mimamsika means divine inquiry. See, very brief. I don't want to digress this. Every word called a sound token. I use the technical paribhasha of modern science. Every sound token has got a vibration. It is produced, it is decayed. Therefore, it is not eternal. It is in a way eternal because if you can tune it to the finest of the amplitude modulation. But it is not audible to us. For us, it goes away. But there is a sound type. Sound type is the abstract unit of sound and its meaning. The capacity of it called Gauhu in Gunaga. That is eternal. The dharma of each word that it conveys is eternal. I said Newton discovered gravitational force. And he made a beautiful equation, or Einstein, beautiful equation. So therefore he is called a rishi, a seer. When you do the mantras, you say rishi, chantas, rishi, chandaka, devata, shaktihi, bijam, kilakam. You do all this kind of thing, The rishi is the one who has seen these words, seen this pattern of words, see this equation. He sees it. He did not invent gravitational force. Gravitational force existed all the time. Eternal. So the gravitational force, when I say the word, there's a meaning to that. The meaning is this akarshana shakti. Understand? So the sound token is the way I say gravitational force. In so many words, so many language, so many tokens I can say, it is produced, decayed. But the sound type, the gauha, this gunaha, the dharma of this gravitational force is always there. So the Drishtaka is the rishi, the devata is the power which is going to take towards that truth. Chantas is the modus operandi, the method of reciting it. The bijam is the seed in which that truth is hidden for you to understand better. The kilakam is the key to open the seed. See how beautiful, it is. So there is a mantra discovered, Newton's law discovered, and it is codified. And then there is chandas for it, how you derive this equation, how you explore it. And there's a devata for it. There's some side lemmas you need to use, Dirac's principle you must use, thermodynamics you need to use. So all the tools you bring it. Bijam, and it is seated everywhere. It is seated down your feet. But it is not the same force in moon and the earth. Why it is different? The secret is in the seed. You need a key lakam, to open it. To open this, you need a power. The shakti you need it. That is, it is so beautifully revealed, the process of it. No, you may say, no. You can say all this. But when I recite the Vedas, I can see there is a history of improvement, refinements. So linguistic changes there. So therefore there is an influence of history, lineage, time. So how can it be apurusheya? It has been human interventions. And also there are a lot of contradiction in understanding. Yes, there are linguistic changes, but they are only in this pramana body. I can give the same Pythagoras theorem in so many different ways. I can read it and give it a different way. So yes, there are modifications. There are some rishis has given some changes to it. But it is the eternal principle is remained. The apurusheyam is the eternal truth. Gravitational equation can be given in a quantum physics in a completely different, the classical physics can be completely different. But it still brings down to the zero mass, pulling everything towards it. The pull is still there. The method of expression changes. The tools changes. And we also have the tools like, arthavadam and apavadam. So that argument that there is a history of changes in this is not a good argument to do that. Sometimes they say, oh, just because there is nobody written their name on it, you can't say it is apurusheya. Today we write something, we put our name, front page, last page. I wrote it. I did it. They don't do that. But yes, logical. If you say the name is not there, you can't say it is apurusheya. But if you genuinely go on research it, which they have done it, nowhere you can find out the trace of any particular rishi to anything. Every rishi builds on something they learn from somebody else. So it goes on an infinite loop that you cannot find anybody. But then also you have a circular theory, right? It is true because Veda says so. Veda is true because Veda says so. No, that is circular argument. No, that's what it said. It is proven to you by a Nyaya Shastra. It tells you, how does it prove? It proves that you need to understand your limitations of human endeavor. Your human reasoning capacity is limited. You can't even think more than 3-4 dimensions. So you have to understand you are limited. And you need an error-free, reasoning instrument. Your mind is not error-free. Your intellect is not error-free. It is factorized by the facts that you consume in memory. So you need something. There are many things which you do not know objectively. Adrishtam, reincarnation, beyond death. So all this, if I want to understand, I need to have some knowledge which is undiluted by the mind. So we need to, so what I'm saying is, the reasoning gives you why you need something apurusheya. Only if you understand the need, you understand the reasoning for Vedas to be apurusheya. So the need is very clear, because no matter how much I argue, I can't live without Vedas or anything that claims to be apurusheya, because all human being generated knowledge is limited by it. Okay. Agree, granted. But then Vedas contains a lot of problems, a lot of issues which are not acceptable to the society. Caste, creed, balis. And people also interpret different ways. Granted. Yes. So when you are trying to decode deeply esoteric ideas, and when you're learning it through that, like we are doing it, we try to interpret in a way the mind is influencing it, and we get into the T-junction, nowhere to exit. Because we took and understanding partially got stuck. Therefore, when I wrote something with a poor understanding, in the later generation see it as, oh, it's a Shastra, but then they got him stuck. There are a lot of impurities there by misinterpretation of it, but that does not mean the claim of Apurushetvam to the Vedas can be denied. See, I want you to have an open mind. Argue as much as you want to argue, but to get the answer, you must have an open mind. So the diverse interpretation does not mean diverse multiplicity of truth. It's a diverse manifestation of truth. You understand? So I am seen as a husband to my wife, and father to my children, a friend to you, like that. So each one has got their own view, multiple personality of me, but I am one, right? So that is same way, the eternal truth of Vedas, or like that. Then why then you have the right to say? Christianity says Bible, Islam says Quran. Every religion got their own God's revelation of things that they want to do. So why should Veda be better? Well, that's a reasonable question. But then you study objectively the enormity of Vedas, the time immemorial of it, the vastness of it, the ability to question itself. It's not dogmatic. You can question very existence of it. You cannot do many religious texts. So it is not a religious text anymore. Religious methodologies are imbibed into this. It's not a religious text. Vedas are not religious. Vedas are spiritual. It is divine. It's a human truth. Therefore, we say it is that. But you still say, all this is right. But can it be really Apurusha? For that, we have to go to, again, Vedas, in Shaktam, in Vedantam. What is the expression? I express now my thought. Because maybe I articulated the thought comes to mind, the words and comes on to it. But before I think of a thought, before I plan what I have to say, before I deliberate my objective of it, there is something happens in me to create this deliberation. That is a feeling of having a class. I have a feeling. The feeling has no intellectual scrutiny. There's an emotional part to it, but there's a deep down, there's a power of expression. Feeling is a power of expression. You say gut feeling, I have a gut feeling. What is a gut feeling? I don't know. Maybe something good is going to happen. What is that feeling? Good may happen. So the feelings. So if expression is the word, the thought is the seed to the word. The feeling is a seed to the thought. The feeling is inexplicable, but realizable. Thought is intelligible, not yet expressible. The word is intelligent, expressible. It's got a meaning to reveal. Below the feeling, which you don't feel, there is a prana shakti, there is an energy for you. The origin of this, the mooladhara is that. In Rasa we say, para asyanti madhyama vaikari rupa. Amba is called Vakrupa. The whole Devi Sotram, we say Vakdevata is the worship. What is Vakdevata? Expression. What do you express? Whatever mind thinks, yeah. What your mind thinks? Whatever I feel. What do you feel? What I feel is who I am. when I am able to get that I am the Paramatma itself, my Shakti, my feeling, my thought, my expression becomes truth. Sat Vatan. Whatever you say becomes true. It is not a great saint foresee the future of your life and he says, oh, you will get married in 2 years' time. He is not seeing your lifeline. See it. No. If he is, I mean, maybe he's got a mystical power and then power will go away from him. He has not done that. He just said that you want to get married. You get married. And because he's a Satpurusha, his mind is looking at his Sakshi Chaitanyam all the time, the expression can nothing but truth. It has to happen. So that the power of expression that is there as a Shakti in you, the gravitational force in you, in this world, the cosmic power in it, which nobody invent, we can discover it. Discover means remove this foil and express in whatever style you want to express it. A poetry, a painting, you know. A guy goes to the temple and he doesn't go inside the temple. He doesn't worship the God. He just looked at the Nandikeshwara and he was just drawing it. So many times he's drawing it. Because that's his worship. His thought comes out. He produces exactly the same thing. See, a great artist produces when he sees you because in mind he becomes you. And he can able to produce. So if he had to produce the truth, the mind has to be the truth. His mind has to see that. You understand? That is what is being said in this mantra. I will say it. So yeah, we'll see it again. Sarvagyatvam Pareshatvam Pada Sampurna Saktida. So now you understand Vedai Samatyate Yasyaha Tad Brahmayet Avatarya. So you will not have a question anymore that should I take Vedas in a good fight? You have to. I reasoned out. Sarvagyatvam. He knows everything. That is the first thing he says. Bhagavan says now, when I say Vedas, what does he actually mean? He means Vedanta. Vedanta is the Upanishad. So in the first line, Sarvajñatvam, he quotes, you can find out in so many ways, this kind of references. I just want to give you a few of them. From the Mundaka Upanishad. Yes, Sarvajña, Sarvavidyasya Jnanamayam Tapaka, Tasmat Yedat Brahmanavarupamanam Sajayate. Everything he knows, Sarvajñam, Sarvavid, he knows everything. Tapas, he is doing that tapas, knowing everything. Tasmat Yedat Brahma Nama Rupam Annam Cha Jayate. So that knowing everything, see, he is now in this mantra, he is giving the Upadana Karana. Upadana Karana means the material cause. Before he said the Nimitta Karana, he is Sarvajñan. Now he is going to say he is the cause of the universe. That means everything created by him. So for that he is saying he is all-knowing and he became Tasmad Etat Brahma Nama Rupa Annam Sajayate. He is the name, he is the form, he is a material. Annam is the most interesting material to consider because Annam is the one who transforms from material to yourself. So, corn, yards, wheat, Aushati. You know how this The earth becomes a tree. Earth is the cause of the trees. The trees, the bark and the fruit and the leaves, everything is just earth. Just the soil becomes the fruit. Like Ishvara becomes the world. So, Jada Shakti and just Shakti, there's no difference. Like a spider, the spider is a good example in Vedanta. Spider is the one that gets its saliva, the chemical, from its mouth and builds its nest. Like that, God creates from him, using his Maya Shakti, builds everything. That's what it means. Sarvagyatvam. Then, Paraishatvam. So this one, he goes to show Shvetashopaniषद. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natas samascha abhyadikascha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividayita shruyate, swabhaviki jnana palakriya cha, na tat samascha abhyadikascha drishyate. No one is found equal to him. Parasya Shakti, he is a supreme power. Vividayita Shruyate. Vedas are saying this. Shruti is saying this. Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. He gives the knowledge, strength, and action in him. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Very interesting insight here. When we have time, some time, we can talk about the Upanishad. But see, we talk about the Mithyatvam, in Vedanta. I'll just take 5 more minutes. Because, very big contention of even again the Vedantis, Dvaita Vedantis and Visishta Vedantis. They say, oh, no, Mithyatvam is wrong. Vedanta, in the subject orientation, objective study, subject orientation, to understand who I really am, who is that Ishvara. So for a good student, what he does before he prepares the exams, this is the chapter 1, chapter 2 summary, chapter 4 summary. He takes a notes like that, right? Vedanta gives you 3 piles of knowledge. The knowledge about the world, Jagat. I will give you some indication, but you go and find out, because I have given you brain. Go and do science. Then knowledge about the God. This is very secret, but I'll give you through rituals and upasanas and karmas and Veda Vakyas. Use your brain and bhakti to understand this one. And gently it tells you, this is about you. So it is Jivaha, myself, Jagat, the world, and Ishvara. So if I know all these 3, I am a Sarvajna. Yeah. If I am going to be the God, God is Sarvajna, I must know everything else. I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. How can I be a Sarvajna? Well, that is my view right now, but what Veda says, no. You are Sarvajna because you know the Jagat, you will know Jiva, and you know this Ishvara. Then you say, okay, let me go and learn about the world. Then it drags you back. No, don't go in the direction. The direction you will go in an infinite loop. How does it drag you? It drags you through karma pala. It gives you trouble sometimes. Trouble comes in, you think of God. What is this like? It gets betrayal. Somebody I loved, they just gone. What is life? Every time you have a positive, negative events, what is life question, Vedanta is telling you, you are going in the wrong direction of pursuit. You live there, but don't waste your time. Orientation is not towards that. Then, immediate refuge is I jump to the God. Then I go to temple after temple after temple. Do all this prayachita karma, all this. Because my trouble, I come here, there must be a resolution for it. It looks like I'm getting a resolution because it gives me shanti for some time, but still I'm not getting it. Why? Because you cannot understand this if you don't understand yourself. So it is gently pushing you. And how does it push you? Because you pray to God, God tries to heal you, but then He finds a guru for you, a satsanga for you, and He puts you in. It means it is blessed that we are in satsanga. It's God's will that we are in satsanga. Then you go to satsanga. There, they talk about know about yourself. So finally, you come to the three branches of knowledge, you come here. The great scholars before gone through all these phrases, but their conclusion of this approach differ because somewhere some have lost, I won't say, lost the courage to go beyond the step. Not aditiraha. They took an easy option, reasonable option to the world and say, for example, Shaiva Siddhantam talks about the same thing, Ishvara, Jagat, and this Jiva. In different terminology. But for them, all three are eternally true. All are Satyam. All exist all the time. And therefore, don't worry about anything else. Try to live a good life. So it is giving you a peaceful life with certain assumption made out of this derived knowledge. All three are eternal. You only need to have one question to ask. If both exist simultaneously, do they get clash? Do they overlap? The book is on the table because the book and the table got clear boundaries. Then only both can exist. If book and the table has no boundaries, book cannot exist. Table cannot exist. They become one. If all three exist, there are clear boundaries. And you will say, yeah, I can see the boundary. You are 6'5" tall, he is different. If it is bounded, it means all three are limited. Ishvara is limited. If Ishvara is limited, I am limited, why the hell I should spread Ishvara? See, you get into contradictions when you ask questions. But you are not allowed to ask questions because you are fighting against the religion. Some improved. This is Shadvaidama. No. Jagat is, Buddhism said all three are empty. All three are false. So there's no argument. Everything is shunyam. Then you may say, okay, everything is empty. Why bother? Vedanti reject that. Advaitam says, no, they are eternal, but they are part of each. Anga, Angi. Like the fingers to the hand, Jiva, like the branches to the tree. But all these questions that we have found so far, question that is existing today, the question will come tomorrow, everything gets dissolved if you take the part, there is only God. All three are Nama Rupa Guna Vishesha Bhava. Satyam Ekam. So this difference is, you need a word for it, is the word Mithya. All the schools were waiting to argue. They left the Satyam aside. They went to the Mithya. They told them, oh, you say Mithya. Mithya means, what is the right word in English? They said illusion. Mithya is knowledge in delusion, not illusion. Viparita jnanam is mithya. So then they argued. There are the argument, if you read the Madhva's, Madhvacharya's argument with Dvaita Vedantam, very perfectly reasonable, logical, but within these boundaries of paribhasha. The moment you put Purnatvam for Ishatvam, Shivatvam has to be Purnatvam. If two Purnams, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachide, you cannot have two Purnas in one place. Advaitam is that. I went sideways, but it's important. So here in this Upanishad, Parasya Shakti Vividai Surve Swabhagi Jnana Blat Kriya Cha Tasya Karyam Karanam Chivyade. So this is important. What he's saying is that the Karya Karanam. Now it comes to my mind. So what I wanted to say, the Mithyatvam, the apparent reality, the reason why Vedanta says is not to somehow prove, argue the world is unreal, and then it creates a lot of arguments, wasting time. It is not for that at all. World be real or unreal doesn't matter to us. The only reason is Mithyatvam is Karyam. Karyam means effect. So if you can think of Satyam as Karanam, Mithya is Karyam. Now all the arguments can be gone, because every Karyam has got a Karanam. Scientifically, you have to say this. People are looking for the point of singularity, the first cause. Go to first cause, ask the question, what caused the first cause? We cannot say. So cause and effect is somehow scientific, it looks. Fine, let's go on the scientific basis. So here it says, you are both the Karyam and Karma. And there is a reason why it says that. Is written in S plus. Om Asadoma Satgamaya.
Om Satoma Satgamaya.
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya.
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya.
Mrityorma Amritangamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
Om Tatsat.
Hari
Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Raja.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.